Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's Toccara Williams of Toccara Williams Official. This is our first live stream on Sundays. Inspirational Sunday will be the day where I know some of you guys have gotten in there and gotten the word in already, but this is a day where we want to incorporate an inspiration to start your work week off. And there's a lot of people out here that already have began their work week, and a lot of people will begin their work week tomorrow. But I want to come at you guys with your energy is high, your vibrations are on another level. It's a lot of positivity floating in the air today. So why not get on board, ride that wave of energy, and accomplish some things that you don't want to put off until tomorrow. Why put off till tomorrow what you can do today? And that's the route that we're taking with everything right now. So I want you guys to make sure you tune in and definitely interact with us on what's going on out here. But the topic of today is sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice for a better good? Now, you got to really ask yourself that question. And I'm going to give you guys the actual definition that I got from a dictionary on that. A sacrifice is a loss or something you give up, usually for the sake of a better cause. So I want you guys to ask yourself, what is it that you are willing to sacrifice to get your better cause, to get your better view, to get your better thoughts, to get better in your life? What is it that you really would sacrifice to get those things? Now, that is a hard question for a lot of people, and I understand that. It's something that you got to self-reflect on. You know, sit down, really have that conversation with yourself, and really reflect on what are you doing to accomplish your goals, the things that you want to do in this life. And like I said, your feedback and just interacting with us is very, very important. The problem in most relationships is nobody is willing to make a sacrifice, meaning nobody wants to give. Everybody wants to win, be it that relationship is personal, that relationship is from a business standpoint, but nobody is willing to make a sacrifice in these relationships. Everybody wants to win at something. It's not a lot of giving going on anymore. Everybody's coming to the table just to take. You know, whatever they can take, they will. You know, you have to really arm yourself and really protect yourself from people that's solely here to take from you. You know, just continuously guide yourselves through things that can detour you off your path. And you got to think at times that you're making your own sacrifice to get the things that you need to get out of this life as well. Like I told you guys, somebody wants to win at all times. I know it sounds crazy and it sounds selfish, but that's what's going on. You know, nobody's willing to sacrifice to take the loss so that somebody else can be on top. You know, as selfish as it sounds, you know, that's the way things happen right now. And it is very hard for people to give up things. And this is why, you know, you have a lot of people that suffer from addictions and they suffer from just depression, because it's hard for people to give up certain things in this life that makes them feel comfortable. Nobody really wants to step out of their comfort zone and truly get in an uncomfortable state, because you got to understand, when we fear something, we're not going to do it. That's not going to happen. Our fear is going to keep us grounded, and our fear is going to keep us in a place where we can't move. We're in a paralysis stage. So, you know, you got to just really make amends with everyone and understand what's trying to happen in the world, or what everybody's trying to do in this world. And I mean, honestly, I've never really did broadcasts where I'm just so open with a lot of people. So that's a fear of mine. So right now I'm willing to sacrifice something, you know, for the greater good. It's not about getting likes. It's not even about getting views. If you just happen to go back and listen to this and you get a message out of it, hey, I'm okay with that. You know, my job is to put the message out. It's not about the popularity and everything that comes with it. It's just spreading positive thoughts and positive messages and getting them across to people who can understand them. You know, and from what I was saying earlier about it's hard for people to give up things, and I was on the subject of addiction. you got to understand something, that habits aren't easily broken at all. You got to think about, right now I'm 35, and if I had a habit, which I did, I'll just tell you, my habit was biting my nails. All my life I've been biting my nails, all my life, and I'm 35 years old. Until recently, I just noticed that I stopped biting them, and for whatever reason, I really don't know why, but again, habits aren't easily broken. There's no way it's going to take me one day to just stop doing something that I'm so used to doing over 35 years of my life. And I think sometimes people don't try to understand, or don't want to understand, or they don't even care to understand, because it's not them that's actually in the situation. We're in a day and age right now where we think that if we tell someone something, they should just understand it and do exactly what we're saying, when that's not necessarily how things are actually going to work. People have to experience things for themselves. They have to go through the process for themselves to actually figure out what it is that they want to do. They have to pay attention to the things that's going on around them. Experience is the best teacher, no matter how much you try to chop that up. It really is. So with everything that's going on, you got to understand that habits aren't easily broken. And you can't expect someone to stop doing something that they're so accustomed to doing over a period of time in their life. Another thing that I thought when I think about sacrifice is that nobody wants to work when things get hard. When times are hard, everybody is going to revert back to their comfort zone. That's including me. Nobody wants to put forth that effort and put forth the work that it's going to take to get to the bigger picture. And you got to know that sometimes people don't even understand what the bigger picture is. Sometimes they can't see the bigger picture. So are you willing to put in the work? I played in high school 2 championship teams, and both those teams were willing to put in the work day in, day out, and everybody was willing to contribute to the overall success of the team. It wasn't about who scored the most points. It wasn't about who got the most rebounds. It wasn't about who got the most assists, who got the most steals. It wasn't about who looked good. It's about if we won as a unit. And that's what separated our teams from a lot of teams that we faced. We didn't become as great as we were if we weren't willing to sacrifice the me for the we. So myself included, if I didn't come in with the correct mind frame of, this is not about me, it's about the team, then, I couldn't be a part of a championship team and the championship formula that's designed to create those things. So it's, again, you have to sacrifice what it is you're willing to gain out here for a better cause. Another thing is that lines of communication aren't open with people. Again, like I said earlier, people aren't so willing to be open about anything, whether it's their own personal lives, their business life, what they're going through. A lot of people aren't open to just conversing and being open about their situation, because you got to think that, pride comes into play. And people don't want to be ashamed of situations that they're going through. But I can tell you this, there's nothing new under the sun. And just because you're going through something, in a sense, somebody else is going through something too. And, your situation isn't the worst situation out there. There's always somebody in a worse predicament than you. As minute as you may think that is for some people, their situation may be a little drastic to them, but in your eyes, it may seem so very small. So lines of communication aren't open because people aren't willing to share that side of them, because it is a fear that people will go off and, run it. And when I mean run it, talk about them. They're going to ad lib onto the story. They're going to add some stuff to the story, take away from the story, put their 2 cents in it, put a spin on it, what they would have done. Oh, how I would have did it. There's so many different dynamics of it. And that's what causes people to not want to necessarily be open to sharing their experiences. We're supposed to learn and grow from one another. And you can't learn and grow if every time you're doing something, somebody's putting you down or, making you feel, you're beneath them, or somebody feels superior to you, and you just, you get yourself in a funk. You can't get yourself out. You don't want to be open about anything. And it's not good to keep stuff inside, because you got to talk to somebody. A lot of friends we have, you can't be open with them either, because, certain things you want to share with your friends in confidence, they may take it and run with it. Who knows? But, that fear will keep a person from staying grounded and actually being open with people that they probably need to be open with. So, open up your hearts and just sometimes just listen to people. It's not about you giving advice all the time, and it's not about you telling a person what to do all the time. Sometimes a person just needs a listening ear, and they just want to be heard. They just want to vent and get it out. They don't want the negativity that comes with it. They don't want the judging that comes with it. And, we're all capable of doing it. We all have done it. Myself included. So, sometimes people just want to talk and you hear them out. Another problem I see with the sacrifice is that, people don't listen to understand. They listen to reply. And, that's a big issue. If you're listening to understand a person's situation, and if you've never gone through the situation or you don't know what it feels like, that it still does not mean that you can't be understanding. I'm not saying you have to glorify and justify what they're doing is right or wrong. All I'm saying is listen to understand where a person is coming from. Listen to understand of why they even got to the place that they're at right now. There's a lot of different components that make up a person's thought process and their mind process. Everybody wasn't raised the same way. Everyone doesn't have the same thought process as the next person. And you got to understand, when you were taught a certain way, that is how you're going to progress and carry on throughout your life. And that's what you're used to. That's what you're comfortable with. Again, I told you, it's hard to break a habit. Habits are sometimes learned. This is things that we see while we're growing up. These are things that we see as far as our experiences. They shape us, they mold us, and this is how, think about it. The people that surrounding you the most, your guardians, your parents, aunties, uncles, cousins, grandma, grandfather, friends, all of these people are impressionable to you. And when you sit back and you really think about all of the experiences that you went through, you're replaying these situations from what you saw as you grew up and how people treated certain things. So, it's a lot of different things, a lot of different dynamics that happen within situations that a lot of people aren't so open to being in. A lot of people do not listen to understand. They just simply listen to reply. And you must understand too that your perception is not the same as everybody else's perception. The way you perceive something and the way somebody else is perceiving it is not necessarily the same. And that's okay. That's what makes us all different. And it's fine to be different. We have to learn how to agree to disagree. Again, it's nothing wrong with that. But the way we're set up, the way humans are set up, because it's human nature, no matter what, I have to get my point across to you. It doesn't matter if you want me to understand you want me to hear you want me to listen. I have to get my point across to you, because what I'm telling you is right and what the way you're going about it is wrong. And that's not necessarily the right way to be with somebody. If you're trying to help a person out, or they want you to listen to what they have going on, because at the end of the day, a person is going to do what they want to do, in business and in personal relationships. Until a person understands that a situation isn't beneficial for them or isn't working for them, until they understand that, then they are going to stay in it. But when they do understand it, of how the dynamics of the relationship is working for them, they can make a better decision to either exit that relationship, stay in it, and rectify it. They can make that decision on themselves. But a lot of times when you're on the outside looking in, it's easy to be like, well, that person's no good for you. You need to leave that situation alone. But until the person that's actually in the situation sits back, pays attention to what's going on in the situation, then they can't make a move. So, sometimes it takes a lot for people to leave their comfort zone. And you got to think, when people leave their comfort zone, is it worth it? Is it worth them leaving their comfort zone into going into something new? It's very hard. Again, that goes back to fear. When people are fearful of something, they've never experienced that before, and that is growth. Growth is uncomfortable. Nobody knows how far you're going to grow and how much you're going to grow. It's just uncomfortable because it's something new to you. You've never experienced it. And who knows how to deal with that? You're going to deal with that when that comes. Again, people have to allow you to go through these processes, but there's nothing wrong with taking advice along the way. But experience is the best teacher. And the question that you have to ask yourself when it comes to sacrifice, when are you going to release yourself out of your own bondage? Because you got to understand, there's a lot of people out here who do things to you and for you, but it doesn't mean that it is good for you nor bad for you. But you haven't tailed yourself into your own bondage. So when do you release yourself out of your own bondage? And you do that when you realize how the situation, and when you understand how the situation is going to work for you. So this is all I have to say to you guys for today. Sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice for the better good? What would you give up for the better good? Catch us next Sunday, Inspirational Sunday, where we'll have a new topic. Toccara Williams Official. Tomorrow we talk politics, so make sure you guys tune in for that. We're going to get a little politics in, be it national, regional, or local. Join us, and we look forward to speaking with you all tomorrow. Toccara Williams Official. Peace out.